Morning, everybody. It is 8:01 a.m. It is January 2nd. Welcome to my channel. Doing a little earlier video today because I got to take my daughter to the bus. And the other day, I don't know how many of you know, but I had like a little heart issue a couple weeks ago. And yes, and the last time I did my video, I was testing out new medication, and boy, that made my some serious brain fog. So that I apologize for that if anybody noticed that in my last video, but like I wasn't thinking straight. Today I feel a little better, so why don't we just get right into it? All right. Welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Gonzalez. I use market profile and volume profile to find structure in the markets, along with supply and demand, gamma exposure levels, the most traded price of the year, the month, and the week in the preceding day. This is my edge. This is how I choose to look at the markets. It just rearranges data perfectly for me. Okay. Once that uh, data that I look at, right, we come up with long and short trade scenarios. That usually happens around 8:30 today. Probably happened around 8:20 or 8, maybe a little before that. Okay. And once I put those trades on, I, if there's a me for if there's a chance for me to put risk on when the market opens, I will. And if it's an educational video, I will post it on my YouTube short videos. Okay. Also on X at Gonzo719, and you can follow me on TikTok as well at Gonzo719 Trader. All right, so hopefully you guys check those out, and of course, join me every day. Subscribe, set an alert. All right. Hopefully, enjoy your morning cup of coffee or tea. Listen to the recap, the news, leaders and laggards, and just the story of the markets. Okay. Now, with that being said, let's get that right into the futures watch list here and see what's moving markets. And Happy New Year, by the way. Now let's see here what's going on. Leading the pack today is Ether, up 3.79. Bitcoin's up 3.69. Silver's up 1.77. So a lot of love coming here in all these markets here. Crude's up 1.32. Nasdaq's up 1.03%. Russell's up 0.98%. The dollar is up 0.89%. ES is up 0.81. The Dow is up 0.73. 30-year bonds being bought, right? Up 0.60. Gold is being bought, up 0.50. 10-year yield is down 1.27%, and the VIX is down 1.27%. Moving on to the Max 7 Plus. All right. Coinbase leading the pack, up 3.90%, followed by Broadcom, up 2.44. Nvidia's up 1.68, Amazon up 1.44. We'll just go over the one percenters here. AMD up 1.27, Tesla's up 1.25, Microsoft up 1.20, and Meta's up 1.13. Is there a laggard? Not really. Not at all on this list. All right, moving on to the top sector stocks. Leading the pack is Uber. Uber's up 1.89, followed by Qualcomm's up 1.15, Snowflake's up 1.09, and Chevron is up 1.08. Okay. Now, there is no laggard on this list as well, right? PepsiCo is up only 0.04. It's a staple. UPS up 0.05. Okay, let's look at the swing trade list. Unity Software up 13.04%. Okay, we'll get into that. Why? Cloudflare is up 6.33. That was just upgraded from a sell to a buy. Then you got Mara up 4.41, Riot up 4%, MicroStrategy's up 3.93, Bitcoin ETF up 3.77, followed by Hood, HIMS, Lucid, SoundHound. And let's look at if there's laggards today. The only laggards here is SoFi, down 1.69, Carvana's down 1.65, Domino's Pizza, and that's about it. That's about it. Moving on to the sectors. And let's see who's driving today's market. It's semiconductors, up 1.27%, followed by technology, up 1.11%, followed by discretionary, up 0.96, energies up 0.95, financials up 0.70. No sector is red. Okay, no sector is red. So into the end of the year, markets kind of sold off. Remember, Santa Claus rally really doesn't end till in through January. So, an inauguration is January 20th. Just keep that in mind. All right, moving on to economic calendar. Some news. All right. Today we have 30-year mortgage rate. That was at 7 a.m. Actual 6.9. Okay, so 8:30 initial jobless claims are coming out. 9:45 you have S&P Global Manufacturing PMI. Okay, that's at 9:45. So I'm gonna stay away and let that dust settle after the 9:45. That's what's going on as far as economic calendar. Now we're gonna get into some news. All right. So looks like Apple stock rose zero point 0.1. That's not much. As the tech giant offered rare discounts on the latest iPhone models in China. Nvidia stock rose 1.7 after Bank of America reiterated the chipmaker is a top pick ahead of the Consumer Electronics Show next week. All right, Unity Software, there it is. Stock jumped 9.2 following a block trade of 1.32 million shares valued at 29.7 million, helped by social media activity surrounding the video gaming software company surging. Tesla stock rose 1.5% ahead of the release of its quarterly deliveries numbers and after the EV manufacturer Cybertruck exploded in flames at the entrance of Trump Hotel on Wednesday. My friend Rosita told me that Elon said the reason that you shouldn't use a Cybertruck is because the bomb would explode upwards. SoFi Technology stock dropped 1% after brokerage KBW downgraded it. That's why SoFi is down. Palantir stock rose 1.3, and MicroStrategy gained 4% after the software platform developer and business intelligence firm were both added to the Nasdaq 100. All right, so they're both added to the Nasdaq 100. Uber stock rose 1.4 despite the downgrade from JMP Securities. Cloudflare stock rose 6% after Goldman Sachs upgraded stance on the cloud cybersecurity bot from a buy to a sell, like I talked about before. That's what's going on in the news. All right. Moving on. Good morning. I'm just going to call you Matthew. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Now let's get over to the daily charts. This has been a little bit of an express version today because I got to take my daughter to the bus. So just give me 1 second while I pull up a nice chart for you guys. All right, so look at that SPY. I'm going to put up my key levels here. Okay, and we can see I have 584, 585 as a very key support level. You can see it was resistance, support, right? In the past, support here got broken, but then look, it held it like a double bottom, right? It bounced right off of it, and now, where's the SPY? 590, 90, let's call it 590, 90. So we're gapping up, and we're right about very close to Friday's highs. I mean, it's Friday because I'm thinking it's the would that be Wednesday? No, Tuesday's highs. Okay, very close to Tuesday's highs. Now remember, we have sold off for 3 days. Okay, there's a gap, well, up here kind of, but we just have to. This could be some nasty short covering coming up. We just have to see. Let's look at the futures in the live view here. So futures, you can see last night we actually broke this double bottom, right? And now that's even more shorts got involved, and now they're getting their faces ripped off. Okay, so keep in mind 50-day moving average in the futures is 60.27. All right, 60.27 could be a target. Okay, moving on to the Qs. Let's go to my key levels. Oh, look, there's a key level. We have resistance, support, support, and support, and yet it bounced right off the 50-day moving average. You see that? on the cues. Right off the 50-day, this 511, 512 support. Right now, where are we at? 516.50. 516.50. Okay, so you're right about here, right? You're close to the open on Tuesday. Okay, not gapping up, but up pretty nice. Okay, now you have the 20-day simple moving average at 523. Remember, we sold off 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so have to see what happens with this, right? A lot of shorts got involved here. So let's look at the live look of futures. So you can see too, ripped down past Tuesday's lows, now finding some buyers. Now in futures, this is last week's range. Actually, that's wouldn't be right. I'm sorry. I'll keep on thinking this is Monday. This is not Monday. So this is the previous week's range. We are finding resistance right here, the lows, last week's lows. Okay? Keep that in mind. All right? Now this was last week's highs, last month's highs. I'm sorry, the whites right here. So, and now we have a new month, right? So this is the previous month's lows and highs. That's how that works. So I can always see weeklies and monthlies on my charts. Okay, moving on. Moving on. We're not going to get into upgrade, downgrade today. I don't have time. So we're going to move right into the main event. I'm sorry. We're going to move into, let's look at that triple headed monster before anything. Okay, let's look at that 10-year yield. Now we have been getting some selling here. Hit a key level here. So you can see here, key resistance level here, 4.632 yield. We hit it 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Sold off now. If you can break the 4.518, this is the previous week's lows. We could move probably down back to 4.38. Have to watch that. Let's look at the dollar. Good old dollar is breaking out right now. It was in this range and it's breaking out. It's at 108.82, so that's very interesting. Dollar is breaking out. Now, generally, a strong dollar is not the best for equities, not the best for commodities. Okay, let's look at our fear gauge here. All right, so we're just moving around this 17 VIX. All right, pretty nice. What is 17 VIX? A 16 VIX means a 1% expected move plus or minus in the SP 500. So we should get nice ranges. All right, the volume looks pretty good today too. So hopefully we get back to some normalcy, right? Instead of the Santa Claus, the end of the year tax harvesting, portfolios and fund managers trying to do some window dressing at the end of the year. That's behind us now, and we're starting a new year. Okay? Let's move on to the main event here. And we're going to analyze the NASDAQ and the ES futures. And you can see we have like this bullish engulfing session here in the overnight. So let's go to that. Okay. And let's see where we're at structure-wise. All right, so you can see the overnight session has engulfed Friday's session. Came down, broke the lows, broke the highs, and now we're right at gap fill, which would be 59.80.25. That's your gap fill, and we're right there right now in the ES. Okay. Now this 59.80 is like a little bit of a composite high volume node here. You can see the volume right here, and it's hanging out right there. Okay. And what we did on Tuesday, we opened up, pushed up, hit this 59.80, right, which happened to be also the overnight highs. I talked about this, and then we just sold off. Sold off. Bounced here, right? Now, let's look at some levels today, right? And you can see it's very balanced because we opened here, drove down in the overnight, and went all the way back up. So pretty big range. I mean, 84 points in the overnight. All right, 84 points in the overnight. So now we have a new month-to-date VWAP starting, and it's going to be the same. I'm sorry, it's not going to be the same as the week-to-date, but the new month-to-date VWAP is starting. It is green. It was obviously red up here. Good morning, Alec. Good morning, Alec. Hopefully that I wasn't too late on that. All right. So what do we got today? Let's look at some levels. All right. Most traded price of the week, 59.35. That is right here. Okay. Market is above that. Okay. Market is above that. Now we have to look at our profile for the week. Right. This is the last week. And now, generally, what I would say about this profile, it has a bearish imbalance to it, right? You have excess to the top, but you don't really have excess to the bottom, okay? But we're above the most traded price of the week, so could get more downside, but you have to see how this market handles this level here at 59.80. Okay, inventory doesn't really matter that much. All right, so we got our gap fill 59.80. Now we're starting to go back into range, and we do have a demand zone here. We do have last week's lows, 59.65 right here. Okay, these are just some levels that we need to look at. All right. Now off the bat, we do have. Let's see here. Trying to really get you guys really good levels here. So what I'm seeing today, the 59.35 will be important, and obviously you have these demand zones in 59.80. That's kind of what I'm looking at today. All right. I think the selling, right, like I said, had to do with end of year window. Well, that wouldn't be window dressing for the sell off. That would be more tax loss harvesting. But all that's behind us now, right? So let's get into scenarios here. We're going to go with the bull first. Okay. All right. So we are right at Friday's highs, right? And we have a demand zone here, a demand zone here, and we have last week's lows and month-to-date VWAP, which you just started, right? And the week-to-date VWAP is now green. Okay. So what would I like to see? Okay. We could pull back into this demand, last week's lows. We can find support, and then we can start making our move up to this supply zone. Okay. That price is 6,003. Okay. That's one. And then you have still, right? Still, you can pull back into this demand. That's week to date VWAP right here. And also come down here and do the same thing and see if you can hit that supply. Okay. Where I'd be worried, right? And the last line here is the 59.35 level. Right here. You got demand zone right here. That would probably be where I'd want to see support last if I want to look long. Come down into here. If you hold it, maybe, I don't know if you would go up to here. Maybe see if you can push up to 59.80. Okay, so below this level would change my bias a little bit, okay? So moving on to the bear side. All right, so we know 59.80 is a key level, right? You know, you got an overnight high here, Friday's highs. The overnight high could not find acceptance over this level, right? So you got to note that. So right here, sellers want to step in, right? Sellers want to step in. So what I would be looking for is just when the market opens up, if it can't find acceptance over this level and it starts to go under and hold, you do have demand zones here. That's why I'm not in love with the short, but you could just rip, right? I don't think it would be easy, but you could. That's why you can feel by what I'm saying is that's why I'm leaning more on the long side, right? However, you can't deny if it gets rejected here, you have longs all the way from these lows, right? That got long and they pushed the market all the way up. They might look to take profit, all right? And you might get a nice move down to the most traded price of the week, right? If you break that, you do have demand here. We could start looking into go, and I would say a target would be this demand and an old gap here around 58.93. Okay, but like I said, I'm more leaning to look long today. All right, the shorts might be overcooked a little bit, but of course, if the internals and everything lines up differently, I will adjust accordingly. All right, I will adjust accordingly. Now, let's move over to the Nasdaq. Okay. Oh man, that's annoying. That is annoying. It's not showing me. Ah, no, I don't have time. Give me 1 second here. I just have to do some data here, so give me a sec. Might be a brief thing here. Just give me 1 second. It's one thing annoying. Sometimes the data doesn't load, and the Nasdaq has so much tick information that it's a slow poke sometimes with data because there's so much ticks. It's tick data. So I still have time to show you guys this. Then I got to take my daughter to the bus. But of course, this market, it should be a fun year with this market with Trump. I don't know if he's gonna tweet as much as he did the last term because every tweet the market moved on his tweets. Obviously, it's not Twitter anymore, but that's was kind of nuts. When he would tweet, it would be like, "Oh, the market just turned on a dime. Oh, Trump just tweeted this." It was kind of nuts. All right, so that's kind of what happened with Trump in office. All right, now we have to see this year because some people are calling for a recession or this is the end of the road. The economy's finally going to meet because if you look at the real numbers, a lot of it, not the government's numbers, there's record defaults happening. There's a lot of things happening. Even in unemployment, certain people have two, three jobs just to make ends meet. So it's really different when you look under the hood. But I know this market, we only trade the numbers that come out, right? We only trade the numbers that come out. So, and let me see here. This data should be coming up in a second. Just give me a sec here. Give me 1 sec here. All right. I apologize for this delay. I wasn't expecting the data not to be there. Guess I didn't notice it earlier. Just give me 1 sec. And I might even go to an hourly chart. We could still do a scenario here. Man, that's annoying. Let's see here. It's still popping up here. Just give me a sec. All right. Well, this data is really not coming through, which I thought it would be. Yep. Wait a minute. It's starting to come through here. Apologize. Again, so embarrassing. On the data, because the NASDAQ, like I said, the tick data is just so big. I want to be able to give you guys the scenarios here. All right, we're there. We're there. My God. All right. All right. So let's real quickly look at some levels here before I knock it down here. So you can see we have a week high here, 214.90 overnight high, and the Tuesday's highs are equal. That is going to be a big level to look at, 214.90. Okay, very very important level. All right, that's going to be a level you really look at. All right, that's a supply. That's why it failed here. You have a supply zone here. Okay, so it's a little different, right? In the ES broke the level of Tuesday's highs. All right, so let's get right into scenarios. I can do it now. Okay, and you have a very balanced profile too. It's a difference. It's a big difference in the ES and the Nasdaq. Look at this profile, very balanced. Okay, so we'll get right into it. We're going to start with the bull case. All right. So again, there's demand here. Okay, demand here. Now you can see the most traded price of the week is 213. 213 is right here. So that's a level I'm going to be looking at today. All right. Of course, the 214.90. Now, if we are a bull, what can happen here, right? You can get the pullback into here and try to break this week high, 214.90, and move up, right, to about 216.47. You can also have a pullback to this demand zone with the most traded price of the week. Now, most traded price of the week is 213. You can also get that and then try to break that high. Okay, that's kind of what I'd be interested in as far as the longs. As far as the shorts, okay, sellers want to defend this supply zone and this week high of 214.90. So if the market was to come up here and pop through that, but fail, reject back, that would be a nice short, and you could probably see if you can get a target at 213. If you break 213, you are going to drop. This is the most traded price of Tuesday, so you can drop, and you have these little single prints, okay, and then you could fall back into this demand here starting at 211, which has not been tested. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. All right. I know that today was a little brief, and I apologize for that data delay. Okay, I apologize for that data delay. I have to actually take my daughter to the bus. So if you can subscribe, set an alert. All right, apologize for the data. That was annoying. Okay. Of course, if you love my content, if you like my content, please give me a thumbs up. All right, and I'll see everybody tomorrow. All right. Everybody have a great day.